Another great year in the books. Hi, I'm Brady Smith, pastor of our student ministries here at Five Forks. As 2023 begins, I took some time to look back through pictures from all of our various gatherings and activities throughout this past year, and I'm so grateful to God for all we've been able to do, and it's my privilege to share that with you now. As a student ministries, we have three main ways that we gather. On Sunday mornings for Sunday school, Sunday evenings for our Sunday evening gatherings, and meeting together for various special events and trips. First, taking a look at our time gathering together on Sunday mornings for Sunday school, I'd like to thank Mary Flegel, Brad Cole, and Todd Smith for taking time to teach throughout this past year. They helped to cover a multitude of topics, but one particular lesson series that has stuck with me is whenever we went over the fruits of the Spirit. During this series, we had a mix of youth leaders and students teach our group, individually going over each fruit of the Spirit. It was seriously so cool listening to our students' thoughts on each fruit of the Spirit, talking about what makes them so important and how we can live them out daily. The second main way that we gather together as a student ministries is through our Sunday evening gatherings. These take place on Sunday evenings throughout the school year in the gym and chapel here at Five Forks. We begin our gatherings by hanging out in the gym together, playing basketball, gaga ball, 9 square in the air, you name it. We then make our way to the chapel to worship together through music. Led by our youth worship team, it is always so special to pause and sing to the Lord together. And I'd like to thank Ryan Yoder and Roland Bingaman for their great help in teaching and guiding the teens on our youth worship team every week. After worshiping together, we listen to a lesson which is typically taught by myself, and following our lesson time, we break into small groups to further discuss the lesson. Throughout 2022, we've covered a multitude of lesson series, and one example would be our series titled Jesus 101. During this lesson series, we developed an answer to the question, how would you describe who Jesus is? We looked into some of the core truths and characteristics of who Jesus is, and why they are so important for us to know and imitate as His followers and disciples. The final way we spent our time gathering together throughout the year of 2022 is with our special events and trips. Throughout the course of 2022, we had around 50 different special events or trips that took place. One example of these events is our Club 678 gatherings. On the first Friday of each month throughout the school year, our middle school students gather together for Club 678. Each month's gathering has its own special theme or destination. My personal favorite theme from this past year was our glow-in-the-dark theme. Another example would be our 2022 Senior High Bahamas missions trip, and I could honestly make an entirely different video report just on this trip. I mean, it was such a blessing getting to go with the 32 different individuals to Nassau, Bahamas and experience God's world in a whole new way. And if you'd like more details about this trip, I would highly encourage you to go back to our Sunday morning service held on July 17th, where some of our students got to share some of their own stories and experiences from this trip. One final example I'd like to give would be our small group weekends. Throughout 2022, we held multiple small group weekends where some of our small groups would gather together for times of fun and fellowship, and other times they gather together to go out and serve in our community. And I just want to thank all of our small group leaders, some that I haven't mentioned yet, Ali Mon, Drew Weiss, Lexi Smith, Sean Boxty, Mike Lease, Heather Lease. Thank you all so much for spending time connecting with our teens and our small groups. It's been an absolutely amazing year, and I thank God every day that I have been put into a position to pour into the lives of our middle and high school students. It really is a privilege, and it's my dream job come true. I'd also like to thank the congregation of Five Forks for supporting our students in so many ways, supporting through prayer, financial support for our missions trip, and always just asking me what our student ministries is up to. Lastly, I want to again thank our student ministries leadership team for just all the time and effort they put into pouring into our students. We couldn't do anything that I mentioned above without their help. So leadership team, thank you for all you do. And may God bless us and all that we have planned for 2023.